imagery of you falling to your death. Is there anywhere that comes from? Does that represent anything?
It only cost $30,000 to save 20 minutes in traffic, worth every penny.
This situation and everything around it is truly devastating. We lost an American singer that is a very well-known influencer as well, and many innocent people in a tragic situation.
Probably be worth more than it is now. People will finally appreciate my stupid fucking videos and my stupid fucking songs. That's when people appreciate you when you're not there anymore.
So in the build up to this situation, Oliver Tree was on the South American leg of his tour. He's not long left his record label Atlantic Records, and the tour started May 30th in Mexico City. He performed in Argentina on June 4th.
Never listen to what people tell you, because if I listened to every person along the way who said, Oliver Tree, don't do this, Oliver Tree, don't do that, there would be no Oliver Tree and we would not be here tonight.
He performed Brazil June 6th, and he posted a video on Instagram playing football.
Neymar!
He's reportedly in the area creating content with others. But then they planned a trip to an island location 4 hours away. And it was the early morning of June 14th. It was a Sunday morning. There's different reports on the time, but it seems that the helicopter he was in crashed into a parking lot dealership and electrical vehicle yard. 2 helicopters had collided in mid-air. One carried 5 people, including Oliver Tree, and the other carried a pilot that was solo. All 6 people were killed. There were no survivors. One of the helicopters reportedly was in flames and crashed into the car dealership parking lot, igniting a fire that damaged and burned around 20 electric vehicles. There were debris, and one witness reported seeing flames, a passenger jumping from one aircraft before the impact. Because this guy does a lot of trolling on social media, people like KSI says generally wish this is just one of these pranks. Oh man, it is an extremely rare occurrence that 2 helicopters collide when you've got trained pilots. And the guy on your screen that actually filmed that last post that he made in Brazil was meant to go on a helicopter with him. He spoke out in the interview saying he had a last minute commitment and he had missed it. That is absolutely shocking. And someone also posted, survivor's guilt is a heavy thing to process. One tiny schedule change completely altered his life, which his friends tragically lost theirs. Life is so incredibly fragile. And obviously people were finding out that the news was actually real and he had passed away, and KSI said, can't believe I'm actually happened to type this. You're 32, man. You should still be here. You had so much life to live, so much music to make, and so much content to make. You're a legend and always will be a legend. Still doesn't feel real, generally feel sick. I love you, bro. And like I said before, he was always trolling and pranking people like KSI, so they didn't want to believe it.
KSI has a massive forehead.
Let's just say his mom wasn't thrilled about it.
It said that the second helicopter that had crashed was flown by a pilot called Charles, who was also killed, and the local police confirmed the case remained under investigation and forensic examination was underway at the scene. They're still trying to determine what even happened. Mid-air collisions are extremely rare, but sometimes small oversights all line up and shit happens. For example, they can't just swerve around. It doesn't work if you don't see the other aircraft. The problem with no roads, no tracks is another vehicle can come from anywhere. A 360 three-dimensional direction will collide with you. It isn't like a car where you can just look left and right and you're safe. It would be very easy to not see a helicopter and collide with it. This is why we have air traffic controls, at least in the US. I don't know what Brazil equivalent is, or there's something that is comparable outside of the major airports. Just reading that part over and over made me feel sick about someone jumping out of the helicopter before it even hit the ground. The witness said it was terrifying, absolutely horrifying. The witness said a local tire repair worker. I'm not sure who that is. Obviously the other people are being identified. The injuries are severe here. It said the passengers on the same helicopter as Tree included a Brazilian music producer, an Argentinian video director, and another YouTuber that is very well known as Gaspy. You guys are watching this and you are traveling to Brazil, maybe just keep it on the ground, because several factors are contributing to helicopter crashes in Brazil. Pilot errors remains a leading cause, of course, but often linked to insufficient training, fatigue and misjudgment during adverse weather conditions. Mechanical failures and other significant factors result from poor maintenance or the use of aging aircrafts in the country. Now, things can get technical in situations like this. I'm no aviation expert, so a pilot actually done a bit of a breakdown on what possibly could have happened through all the information has come out so far. Then we'll get into stuff that Oliver Tree said in the build up to this and more info.
After reading all the reports, the news reports, looking at the videos, there really isn't much to go on here. There's no ADS-B data, there's no ATC communication. I don't know the laws and regulations of Brazilian airspace, Brazilian flying. However, there was one video that I saw that started just seemingly after the moment of impact, where then the two helicopters fell nearly straight down to the ground. One bystander was interviewed and said that he saw one person jump out of the helicopter just before it impacted the ground. Just absolutely tragic footage. My guess here is that the aviation authorities in Brazil are probably going to look to the systems on board the aircraft, the ATC communications, if there were any communications being made between the helicopters and ATC, if there was a mistake made there or a misunderstanding. But to my knowledge, these types of helicopters don't have a TCAS, but rather a TAS system. So a TCAS, a traffic collision avoidance system, will give you instructions to avoid a collision that it detects is imminent with another aircraft in your vicinity. Whereas a TAS, or a traffic alert system, basically only displays traffic in the vicinity of your aircraft. So that could be a key player here, where neither of these helicopters had the capability like commercial aircraft do to be told what to do to avoid an imminent collision. Again, I'm not familiar with the whole setup here, but absolutely tragic. It is not easy to see other aircraft when you're flying. I think we've talked about this before, and it seems like neither helicopter saw the other, and if they did and tried to maneuver away, it was clearly too late.
Now obviously people are ciphering through all of these content and music videos, and there is a moment in a video where he says, "Oh, I hate you until the day I'm dead," and that's how a song ends. And at one time he obviously was making plans for the day he died and spoke about his will. It should never have been this young, a truly devastating situation. Before I play this video of him talking about what he would do with his money when he dies, you may be wondering, why is he green here? Why is he looking like Shrek? That's the thing, this guy was always trolling, so when this situation happened, people was thinking he's up to some sort of antic and were in disbelief.
And so when I die, I've set it up, my will is set up that when I pass, my family, no one's going to get a penny. If I have a wife or kids or anything, not getting a fucking penny. I'll get my kids through college. That's the agreement, but they're not going to be a silver spoon. They're taken care of because my dad worked on some stuff in the 2000s. When I die, all the money is going to go back to artists. So I've set up a foundation. It's called Dr. Oliver Tree's Art Grants for Baby Geniuses. And it's set up so that basically the interest generated from my music will take mostly that, but there's also room for other money, because when I die, my art will continue to have residuals and probably be worth more than it is now. People will finally appreciate my stupid fucking videos and my stupid fucking songs. That's when people appreciate you when you're not there.
Now people constantly speaking about him leaving his record label. That is true. There was a little bit of a situation there, but this was not immediately recently, but he did speak about the whole situation of him going independent. Oliver Tree parted ways with his former label Atlantic Records because the company refused to support his latest project unless he made music specifically engineered for TikTok. Before he split, he spent 2.5 years working on his album Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, and traveling to 82 countries to record it. However, the label reportedly shelved the album and offered little to no marketing support as they were frustrated that he wasn't creating short form trending content.
It's no longer coming out. Love You Madly, Hate You Badly is officially canceled, and I'm parting ways with Atlantic Records. Behind the scenes has been nothing short of a nightmare. I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song that didn't even get released because someone forgot to put it in. I don't really understand how that's possible. I've made them tens of millions of dollars, but they don't remember that. So, the music is owned by them. The remainder of the music will not be coming out. I will always continue to make music. Thank you for everyone who's supported me. I can't wait to release more music at some point at a later time, but for now, there is nothing on the horizon. I'm so sorry, and I love you guys. Thank you.
He could have just stayed at the record label and kept getting the help and getting a paycheck, but honestly, this guy cared about his music so much. So he left and announced he'll be doing this album himself.
I left my record label, let's talk about it. After making tens of millions of dollars over 8 years for Atlantic Records, they no longer want to support my art because I'm not making songs for TikTok. And after dedicating my entire life to making art, I never got into this to make TikTok songs. I know the effects of TikTok. I've had multiple songs that connected there, but that's not why I got into making art. Over the last 2.5 years, I traveled 82 countries and recorded this album on all 7 continents. These are the types of projects that charge me as an artist. This is why I got into it in the first place. And just because I'm not making songs for TikTok means that the label doesn't want to support the vision. Well, guess what? I don't give a shit. And after you guys have joined together in tens of thousands and sent messages to the label, we have officially reached a negotiation over the past course of a week. My team has got the label to agree to release Love You Madly, Hate You Badly on my personal imprint, Alien Boy Records. You guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This music is finally going to see daylight. So support your local indie artists and go pre-order my album. April 24th is the official date. I love you all.
And that's why it's really sad, because this tour meant a lot to him, because he was pursuing it independent. He was taking that leap. He said possibly he was going to lose money. The production costs behind things are so much, but still he went and done it. People don't understand the pressure of an independent artist. When record labels back you, it makes things so much easier. You have a whole team. Doing it yourself gives you that creative freedom. That's the main thing this guy cared about.
Make the coolest stuff, not to make money, but ultimately as an artist, you have to also keep pushing forward, and you need funds. And to take creative risks, you have to do things that are non-creative risks and take things that are non-risky. And so certain things I'm like have to be calculated. And this time around with this tour, I was like, I don't really feel like it moved up. The showmanship, the performance, the show itself is way better, but it's not like we sold way more tickets. It wasn't some way bigger thing. Just to sustain it is a huge ordeal, you know what I mean? Like and plus you get like big hits on TikTok, but that doesn't mean those people are going to buy tickets to your shows. So I think for me, ultimately, as I'm kind of looking at music, I'm like, it's been amazing and I'm going to continue, but I'm not sure if it's like, I'll see how this next year plays out. But if it's realistically not like a big winner financially for me, I'm going to be like, all right, this is probably not even worth my time at a certain point, because I don't do it for money, but it's also like, I shouldn't be breaking even to play shows. You know what I mean?
So a bunch of innocent people in a situation in Brazil here that are all very well known as well. It's going to be a tragic couple of days as they investigate. My thoughts are with the family. I'm sure we'll get more detail on the aircraft side of things on how this unfolded. Just a really sad situation overall. Oliver Tree spoke out numerous times about his music and his purpose, and he was so young like the other victims.
What's an experience that's changed your life?
When I was 13, my cousin Wayne got spiral meningitis. Within a week, he became brain dead and died. After that moment, I was like, I could die at any time. And so I just wanted to take any moment on and try everything, which ultimately ended up me becoming a drug addict. I started selling drugs. I got kicked out of my home. I had an LSD trip where I actually watched my own funeral, and I had what's called a rebirth. I died, and I woke up the next day, and I realized I was still alive. I had an opportunity to play a big concert. And then music became my savior, my healing, my religion, and it gave me a second chance to take my addiction and become addicted to something that could actually save me and help other people in that process. Been making an album this last 2 years, and I've been recording over 80 different countries. Instead of using money to go into expensive studios, I'm using the money to be able to go and explore the world and create memories, so the money doesn't fall through my hand, but so that I can connect with humans around the globe.
What's your advice and message to people maybe struggling through some sort of addiction or going through a painful moment?
Remind yourself at that moment when you're going through that suffering that that's a reminder of how precious life is and how short life is, and use that as momentum to push you to take advantage of every single second of every single day. So make the most of it. Don't live your life to satisfy other people. Do it for yourself and what's right for you.